I will admit, opening the garage to find this car is always a pleasant, I guess it's not a surprise, but a pleasant thing to see. Wow, it's a tight squeeze. Ugh. Pardon the darkness. I guys want to keep seeing these. My cars are all way too reliable now. It's not even fun. It's not like a parts car where it takes 10 minutes to start it and it has some drama. This thing's just always rearing to go. So I've done the turbo E30, I've done the black M3 at least, and the only other thing I really haven't touched on that you guys asked for in that comment request video is more of this car, the e46 M3. This thing's a 2002 BMW M3 convertible. It was originally an SMG, now it's a 6-speed. When I bought it, it was sitting in a field in the middle of North Dakota and had a really bad rod knock in number 5. It's got a new used engine in it now. You can follow a lot more of what that involved and exactly how it was done on older videos here. But here's the car. Recently I was noticing a huge transmission fluid leak that was getting progressively worse. Every time I parked it was leaking between 4 and 8 ounces of oil. Eventually it just ran completely bone dry. So I towed it out to my lift and there was no drain plug in the transmission at all. So apparently when I bought the transmission I only checked the fill plug. I did check it to fill it obviously, but not the drain plug. So that must have just been finger tight, allowing a slow leak that progressively got worse and eventually it fell out. So I popped a drain plug in from the SMG that I had sitting there, filled it up with ATF, shifts beautiful. No noise, no weird anything, it's perfect. Beyond that, this car has these yellow fog lights, and it actually was missing the fog lights surround on that side. Those are under 10 bucks a piece new from BMW, so I replaced that. Really haven't had to do much else to it in the discipline of that, I suppose. I broke the exhaust gas temperature pyrometer when I ripped the old motor out, so I had to buy a new one of those. That was kind of expensive. The car is still not fully coated. I'll open it here. Kind of show you what I mean by that. And basically the biggest consequences is down on power. It has a 6-speed manual box in it. The 5-speed knob's just all I really had kicking around. Car's nice, it's got nav, fully loaded and all that. It still has these silly paddles on the steering wheel. My options are either take the paddles off this wheel or put an M3 steering wheel on it, which I have, but I don't really want to sell with the car. So the SMG cars have this screen down here, which normally has your gear position for the transmission. That has been decoded, so that is now off. However, the DSC still needs some coding, as does the instrument cluster. So here's I guess a cold start for you guys. A lot of warning lights. The brake, ABS, brake pad wear, I believe, and the tire pressure, along with the DSC light, are all due to the rear right wheel speed sensor being bad. Washer fluid sensor's bad. Great. But it runs nice. That engine I got from a Toyota-only auto recycler in California for $1,900 shipped. It's running really, really nice. And I checked the rod bearing caps; those all felt really nice. So for an engine that had supposedly about 150 or 60,000 miles transmission, when you're swapping one of these cars from a paddle shift to a manual, everything for the clutch line is already a hole in the firewall. It just has a rubber plug in it. You actually have to just punch it out, put the clutch line in it, and you're done. However, on the shifter, on an M3 with an SMG, there's no hole cut in the sheet metal for the shifter to go through. There is in every non-M e46, but not on the M's. I don't exactly know why that is, but you do have to cut a hole in it. And I actually opted to solid mount the shifter carrier to the chassis. I know I mentioned that in one video prior, but I would highly recommend it if the car is maybe not your primary daily driver, or if your wife drives it or something like that, because the shift is so positive and notchy. It's just fantastic. I've never felt a gush rag that feels as nice as this one does just because of that. So again, I would recommend doing that, especially if you have a swap car, because the alternative to actually get that mounted up the factory way is welding sheet metal. To actually mount the rubber bushing on the rear part of that aluminum shift fork support. Beyond that, I guess I'll put the top down here. That also is now working. It wasn't originally working when I got the car in North Dakota. Turned out to just be a bad wire that had been chewed through by a mouse between the general module and the trunk. The top's in great shape and it works, so very, very happy about that. And I'll show you the car with the top down, because I'm not sure if I've even done that yet. I think the last time I took a video of it, the top was still inoperable, so there she is. It's lowered on, I think, H&R race springs, which is unfortunate. It's a little too low for my taste. However, you know, it's a nice car. Had this been my only vehicle about 3 years ago, I would have been absolutely thrilled, but now that I've got the Ferrari and that's a convertible, this car unfortunately has got to go. So putting the top back up now. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything specifically you guys want to know about this car. Again, it's down on power until I get it coated, so I can't really do any fun pull videos for you or anything. It pulls pretty well above 50 or 60 miles an hour, but by the time you've run through one of those gears, you're basically into jail speed. So I guess that's probably gonna do it for this car for today. Yeah, it's a nice car. I'm running out of time and space and, well, now money, thanks to that Italian in my stable. So here's this thing. If you know anybody looking in Minnesota soon for a 6-speed manual convertible that's in pretty nice shape, let me know. I'll probably be asking 11 or 12 grand for this thing. So thanks for watching. Why not? It's a cold start, but not an old start of the 2013 Fiat 500 Sport Daily Driver.